Okay, morning everyone, and welcome to this Wednesday class. And I was just looking at how many we've done, and believe it or not, this is the 81st Wednesday class, which is a very auspicious number. There's lots of nines in there. 9 is a very yang number in Chinese numerology. So how about that? 81 classes. I can't really believe it. And about this time last year, we started doing a 1 year element, round the year element cycle. And believe it or not, we're only about 4 weeks away now from the end of that whole year's cycle. So amazing, and well done for everyone for staying with us and hopefully enjoying and getting benefit from all these 81 classes that we've done. Can you believe that? So please say hi on the chat. Hi to Jane, Linda, Simonetta's back from Rome. Yeah, it's great to have you on the class. We're going to start the last meridian now. We're starting the large intestine meridian, which is the pair of the lung meridian. So we've gone down the lung meridian the last few weeks, and now we're going to go up the large intestine meridian, back up to here, and we will have completed the whole of the 5 elements, all the meridians of the 5 elements. How about that? Amazing. Look at that. Chris has done all 81 classes. You must be in an amazing balanced energy state now. This is what I'm finding with my clients coming in now. They're saying, I'm coming for a Shiatsu, but I don't think I really need it because I did the class, this morning or last week, and I'm feeling pretty balanced, and they're lying there and they know exactly what I'm doing now. Oh yeah, you're doing such and such a point. That's blah blah blah, aren't you? So it's had lots of side effects. The Wednesday classes. It's really helped a lot of people, made people less dependent on their Shiatsu treatments, and also given a lot more knowledge about what's happening when we're doing Shiatsu. Okay, so without further ado, we've got an awesome point of the week, one of the most famous acupuncture points in the world. And I'll tell you a little story about that as we go on. But let's get straight in. I'm going to do some location-based work today. So I thought what we can do is we can check in. I've got a poll for you, finding out where you'd most like to work after we've done the scans. So let's get straight on. We'll do the whole body scan first of all, then the 3 burner scan, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are. So let's find some little space and a little bit of space, and we can scan down through our whole body and just see what's happening in our whole energy field. So I've got my paper ready, and so if you'd like to you can stand or sit depending on what you'd like to do. We're just going to relax, and we're going to just bring our attention down just from above our heads here through the head. Okay, just see how the cranial bones feel, how your eyes feel, your nose and sinuses, how you feel in the jaw, around the ears. So we're just going internally here, through the neck, through the throat, scanning through, just noticing if there's any areas of blockage or weakness as you go through. And then we go into the shoulders, and then down through the chest, down the arms and into the hands. And then we're going down through the chest, through the lower back, the thoracic spine as well. So you want to check out the diaphragm and the whole abdominal area. And we go down through the hips, down into the legs, the knees, feet and ankles. And now we're just going to relax and take a whole view of the whole body. I'm just going to close my eyes for a second just to really tune in. Okay, very good. And now if you turn that into a picture, we're going to quickly sketch that as our whole body scan. And I've got a couple of things that I've noticed this week that are quite new. So we're just going to take a moment to do that. Just a quick sketch really, just to remind ourselves of where we'd like to work for this session. So okay, there we go. Okay, that's me this week. I definitely need the exercise class. I'm sure you do too. So let's do the 3 burner scan and find out which is the most favorite burner of the group for this week. And use just a piece of paper with 2 lines on it, 3 areas. I'm going to do it standing up today. And let's start off with the lower burner, We're going to start with the lower burner, which is this place just below the navel, right round into the sacrum and the lower back. And we're going to just tune into that area. I'm going to close my eyes for a second. Just notice if there's any feelings of obstruction, tension, or weakness in that area. Okay, then we're going to go up to the middle burner, which is this area above the navel and round through the diaphragm. Checking how that feels. And then comparing that with the upper burner. You got it? Okay, now we're going to relax and compare all three and just kind of compare one against the other. And that can help us make a decision of which burner we're going to vote for as the one we want to work the most this week. So I've got my whole body scan. I've got my 3 burners. I'm just going to draw those in now. I'm going to draw a little picture of each of the 3 burners. And it's interesting, if you come every week, it's really interesting to see how we change from week to week, or maybe we don't, or what, some things that don't change so much. I've got a bit of a change in my burner pattern this week. Okay, great. So I'm going to run 2 polls, and I'm going to run the where would you most like to work poll first, because then we can maybe focus on one area. So let's have a look. I've got a poll that says, where in your body, here we are. So looking at your whole body scan, where in your body do you feel the block or weakness you'd like to work with? There we go. And we'll get an idea from the group where we can focus on. So it's more the head, neck or shoulders, is it more in the upper body? Is it down the arms, inside the upper body, inside the lower body, or is it the hips, torso and legs? Let's just see which is the most popular. And actually, when we've run this poll over the last 81 weeks, we occasionally check in, don't we, with this poll. It's usually the head, neck and shoulders that usually win, but they are being approached this time by inside the upper body and inside the lower body. So that's really interesting. That gives us more indication of more internal work to be done on maybe some of the tensions that's being held inside. And we'll know more when we do the 3 burner vote poll in a minute. Okay, so thank you very much. Look at that. Inside the upper body has actually beaten the head, neck and shoulders. That is a historic change, and that's really interesting because that's more likely to be involved with maybe the upper burner or the upper part of the middle burner, rather than the yang channels of the head and neck, which are the ones that tend to take on acute stress when we kind of go like this. So we've got some stuff going on here that we definitely need to work on. So we better find out which burner would you like to most on. We can kind of guess, can't we? But let me see if I'm right here. Do you want to work most on the lower, middle or upper burner this week, everyone? And we'll take it from there. Inside the upper body. Right, okay. Okay. Yes, and look. Whoa, look. Those voting for the lower burner are a little bit slower than the upper burner people, so it's slowly catching up now. Okay, look at this. We've got a fairly even spread, but the lower burner and the upper burner are both winning out against the middle burner this week. Okay, so we better work on those. I've already got a bit of a plan hatching in my mind that we can use this week to help us. Okay, because we really want to try and get the energy balanced within the internal aspects of the body. We need to clear the yang channels, but we really want to get kind of more of a feeling of harmony and kind of like smooth flow of qi or energy between the upper and lower parts, the internal parts of the body. So we better do that, I think. And we need to focus mainly on the upper burner. Again, that fits in with this idea that the upper, inside upper body is the place you'd most like to work on. So let's go. I think especially as the autumn is coming on, we've got the lungs really, really important. The lungs are really important in the upper burner, and they descend the qi down the body, and they're very important for our vitality at this time of year. We've also got the heart and the heart and pericardium channels, and they're really important for regulating the emotional environment. So let's get started, and we're going to build up from the lower burner as usual until we get to the upper burner. So you just find some nice space to work in. What we're going to do first of all is we're just going to release any obstructions in the body. Now, if you're feeling particularly weak, I recommend you just do some very, very gentle, like bouncing and shaking. If you're feeling a bit stronger, a bit more blocked, then you want to do it a little bit stronger to try and release any tension in the body. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes or something and really get into systematically working through the whole body. Okay, so if you remember your whole body scan and you remember where you'd like to release the most, you can make the most of that as we go through. So we're going to have our feet shoulder width on the ground here. We're going to get that thread, imaginary thread, holding us up, and we're going to relax the shoulders. Okay, very good. Okay, now we're going to start bouncing from the top of our head. We're going to imagine that we're being bounced up and down from the top of our head. We've got feet nicely relaxed on the ground as well. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to very gently but systematically shake out any acute feelings of obstruction in the body. And the first joint we get to is the jaw. So we're going to shake the head and we're going to let that jaw just relax. That's it. Okay, now as that jaw relaxes, we can then go down into the throat area. Relax the throat. And the throat is very important this time of year because it's related to the lungs, the metal element. So we want to keep this as open as we can to allow the breathing to flow nicely into the upper burner. Okay, so now we're going to go down through the shoulders, shaking the shoulders. Very good. And down into the arms. Very good. Okay, so now as we keep that shaking, we've got all these yang channels nicely shaking out. We now get into the upper part of the body here, the torso. So we've got the lungs and the heart area. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to release the lungs. Okay, so let's do some breathing. Fill up the lungs with air. And then breathing out and shaking these intercostal spaces. So we're kind of jiggling the ribs about here, freeing up the lungs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go forward slightly. I'm going to start shaking this way, okay? So this opens up the upper thoracic, directly related to the lungs. And then we're going to go back, we're going to open up this way, okay? And this opens up lung one, and we're doing a slight lung stretch here, shaking this way. Again, opening up these intercostal spaces. And then forward. Okay, and up again, back slightly, opening up the lung area. Okay, then coming back to center, and again, just jiggling the whole of this, and moving the whole of this thoracic area there. Okay, very good. Okay, so that's giving the lungs a bit of an opening. Now we're going to concentrate on the pericardium, which is the area around the heart. I just want to tune into the heart area here, and we're going to give it a nice gentle shake. We're already shaking the jaw and the throat and the lungs. So now we're going to go a little bit more internally, and we're going to just jiggle inside there and kind of release any tension that we've got around the pericardium area. Now what we can do also is we can go backwards like this. So as we go backwards, that opens up the pericardium channel, the heart protector channel here. So what we're doing here is we're using the shaking to help us start loosening up and energizing and balancing the upper heater, and also particularly the upper part of the torso, which is where a lot of us are feeling we need some work today. Okay, so here we go. Stretching back, forwards, back and forwards. Very good. Okay, now the diaphragm is a very important place to release. So what we're going to do now is keep jiggling, and we're going to relax the diaphragm. So we're going to focus in on this area here. And as we're moving up and down, taking some nice deep breaths. We're going to be relaxing and releasing the diaphragm right here. Very good. Okay, feeling better already? I know I am. Okay, so now we're going to go to the internal organs, okay, and these really do need jiggling because the whole idea is that they move about and we don't really want to get stuck and kind of obstructed. And this has another effect because if we move the internal organs up and down, that will gently massage the diaphragm from underneath. So let's focus the shaking on the abdominal area now. And we're going to shake it up and down. And now feel that shaking, gently massaging the lower part of the diaphragm. And again, if we get in touch with that, we can bring a nice breath in. That expands the lungs downwards and we're still jiggling the abdominal organs so they're kind of like moving together there. Okay, excellent stuff. Okay, so we're going to keep moving and now we're going to go down into the hips and we're going to start doing one leg at a time, just dancing about, hopping up to one leg and the other. And we're keeping this joint really open, okay? Keeping it really open, allowing the leg to just shake. And then down into the knees, the ankles, and right down into the feet. Okay, very good. Now the whole body. Okay, awesome. Let's just check in again. Wow, that feels so much better already, doesn't it? Shaking is a great thing to do. And if you've only got 5 minutes during the week and you're starting to feel a bit tense or things are blocking up, it's always recommended to just have a shake, especially if you do it like the way we've just done it, internally tuning in and really feeling the release wherever we need it. Okay, so here's some important Chinese medicine stuff, okay? This area here, the lungs and the heart, we think, okay, this is the upper heater, but actually there's some very, very important connections between the upper heater and the lower heater. And that's why we're going to start off by strengthening the lower heater, and I'll show you how you can connect those, the upper and the lower, as we go through this through the session. Okay, so let's rub our hands together and let's place our hands on the dantian and let's just check out by just breathing in. Just notice to see whether your breath comes down into this area here where your hands are. And if it doesn't, that's when we need to relax the shoulders, open up kidney 1 and the feet, connect with the earth, relax the hips, relax the diaphragm, and imagine the energy coming from the breath down into the lower dantian. Okay, we're going to hold the breath. Imagine the breath collecting like in a bowl. Okay, hold it, and then breathe out. Very good. So let's do 2 more, breathing in. Okay, and as we do that, we've got an opportunity to open up all this area all the way down here and really feel the Qi collecting in the lower part of the abdomen. We're going to hold it, we're going to breathe out. Very good. And then breathing in. Okay, and then breathing out. Okay, good. So now we really want to energize this lower area here. And let's, why don't we start with the channel work with our favorite point, which is kidney 1. Let's get that activated. We'll charge up the kidney channel, we'll charge up the lower burner, and then we'll remove this any obstruction here. And then we'll explore some of the connections between the upper burner and the lower burner today. Okay, I've got my chair, I've got my feet. So let's activate the kidney 1. We can press in here. And if you remember where it is, it's 1/3 of the distance down the midline of the foot. So it's right there. And we can start opening up like this. Remember, we can stretch out, whoa, stretch out the kidney channel by stretching the leg, kidney and bladder channels like that, if you want a little bit stronger stretch. And the way to really energize it is to tap here. Notice I'm opening this stretch up here. This is kind of like a kidney stretch. Holding the ankle and tapping kidney 1. Because what we want to do is energize the lower burner, and that will do 2 things. It connects with the lungs by holding the Qi down from the lungs, And it also connects between the lower burner and the upper burner through the heart channel, because the kidney and heart channels have really strong connections. It's to do with the way the adrenal system regulates the heartbeat and gives us a sense of safety. So basically it's to do with the way the nervous system works, translated into Chinese medicine, internal, metaphoric and experiential activities. So tapping. Just do a little bit more actually. I think my kidney one, I don't know about you, but my kidney one needs a bit of an extra help today. Just get that activating. Excellent. Okay, good. So let's walk back on. It's getting a little bit cooler now in England. I don't know about in Norwich, I don't know about where it is with you, but it's getting a bit cooler in the mornings. Here we go. Fingertips into kidney one, stretching out. Oh, excellent. And tapping. Let's get that kidney one really activated. And what should happen, we hope, is that the yin, this earthing aspect of the point will help us with the breathing. We're going to just check that in because we can do one lower abdominal breath when we stand up again, and we'll see whether it's working or not. It should be much easier to bring the lower breath, the breathing into the lower abdomen once we've done that. And let's see what happens when we stand up. So here we go. This is my favourite bit of the week, when we see the effect of kidney one. It's such a powerful point, and look what happens. So when we're standing now, look, feel the difference, focusing in on that kidney one, you can feel it tingling away. Suddenly we feel so much calmer, right, and so much more grounded all the way through the legs. And if we place our hands over dantian now and do that lower abdominal breathing again, you notice how much smoother it is. It just seems to be drawn down there and so much easier to breathe in. And that's because we've activated the yin aspect of the kidneys, which just basically allows us to feel kind of chilled out, cool and connected to the earth. So let's continue the good work. We're going to tap up the inside of the back of the legs from kidney 3. Remember that one? That's behind the ankle. Tap up behind there, up through past the knees, kidney 10, and then up here into the lower dantian, and then round the back here onto the sacrum, and then down the backs of the legs. I sometimes like to do it like this, or tap, or use the back of my hands, whichever's easiest. And tap down here, and up here. And then round, down, up, and down. Brilliant. Okay. Let's do that 3 times. Get those channels activated. There we go. So the backs of the legs are related to kidney and bladder energy, and they're related directly into the lower dantian. So let's see what's happening now. Even better, let's take another breath in, breathing in, and breathing out. Can you feel how the lower part of the body is so much more energized now? We're feeling connected to the earth, and that breath just seems to kind of flow in without any problem. And that's because the kidney energy is being activated, which grasps the qi from the lungs. Really, really important, because we don't want to just emphasize the breathing aspect. It's this energy connection that's really, really important with breathing, especially in the autumn when the lungs are adjusting to the time of year. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to move up to the middle burner, and we're going to just see if we can work on any obstructions there. We're just going to palpate in here. This is a good way just to check to see how your middle burner is doing. Just around here, is there any tension? Anything you need to release? So let's try a this is a really good exercise for the middle burner. We start off around the navel like this, round, turning our hands like this. It's a bit like this one, but higher up around the navel. So if you find your navel, now we're going to work around like that. Very good. And then we expand it out to the outer aspects of the abdomen. And the really important bit is just to make sure that as you go across this way, along round where the liver and the stomach are, that we relax this area here and connect it to the rest of the abdomen. So there we go. Very good. Okay, excellent. A bit of shaking. I'm just focusing it mainly on the middle burner here. The reason I'm doing a bit more shaking is because the middle burner is famous for getting obstructed. We want to try and keep that as free as we can. So the head floats up, sacrum is hanging down, we've got that thread, and we're going to do this twisting exercise. And again, if you're feeling a little bit tired or weak, just keep it nice and easy like this and really focus on releasing here. And if you're blocked here and you need a bit more movement, then we can do it a bit more vigorously and do some tapping. And this tapping taps the sides of the body and activates the liver channel. So just adjust it depending on what you really need. And then we can do some doing for the middle burner. Okay, very good. So now the middle burner is connected to the stomach channel and the liver channel. And those channels run along the sides and the front of the body. So let's start off by working the stomach and spleen. And we're going to tune in now. We've got this really activated, the lower burner's really activated. We've got kidney 1 open. We've got a nice solid feeling there. The breath's starting to come in nicely. So what we want to do here is tune into here and just see if we can move any obstruction or energize this area if it needs it. We're going to tap down here just either side of the abdominal muscles. That's it. And then we go down onto the legs. And we're going to go to the outside front of the legs. This is where the stomach channel runs. What I'm doing is I'm just checking out now, just seeing if there's any really good points here that help this area release. I've got one right here. Go down a bit more. Something around here. And this is the kind of thing we do when we're doing Shiatsu. It's just kind of like feeling out the points, finding the ones that create the most release. We go down here. Famous stomach 36. And then we're going to go down. Back up. Again, tuning into this area here and then down. And up again. And then down. Okay, cool. Okay, very good. Just a bit shaking of the legs, brushing off. Okay, now check out this again. Now, if you feel a really strong release around here, because of this, it's probably the stomach and spleen channels that you want to focus in on. There's still lurking feeling of it being blocked. It's probably because it's related to the gallbladder and the liver channel. So let's do them now and see what happens. So tapping around here. Remember, we've got liver 13 and liver 14 around the ribs here. And then we go down the outside of the legs. We're going to tap right into gallbladder 30. That's the really important point that's used for sciatica and for releasing the hips. We get right in there. And then down the outside of the legs. This is the gallbladder channel. Don't forget this point, gallbladder 34, one of my favourite points for reducing any tension, muscular and tension in the body. And give that a good tap, go down the outside, and then up the inside, keep it right on the inside of the legs, behind this big adductor muscle here. That's where the liver channel runs. And then come back up here, and then back up to this bit again. Okay, so let's go down into the gallbladder, down, and then up. There you go. And then down the outside. Up the inside. Okay, very good. Now we're going to brush off. So we've done it 3 times. Shake out, especially the hips. This is really good. So now we're going to, ooh, that worked for me. Okay. If you notice a big release here, it's probably going to be more like the liver and gallbladder meridians that are affecting the middle burner. So I've learned something already this Wednesday. Okay, so now let's see what we've got. We've got nicely relaxed legs. We've got kidney 1 open. We've got this really nice connection with the lower dantian, and look what we've got in the middle burner. It's kind of like tingling, fizzing about, much more released. I'm just going to twist a little bit just to enjoy that feeling of freedom in the middle burner there, which means we're now, everything is clear now for making these connections. Okay, so let's do a few exercises on connecting the lungs with the lower burner, and that's the connection between the kidney energy and the lung energy. It's the grasping factor. We've already got this nicely energized. So what we need to do now is open up the lung channel, release it, do some stretches, and then we'll be able to connect it up with the kidney energy here, and everything will be really good. Okay, so let's start off by just doing a lung stretch. So what I'm going to do is going to breathe in. I'm going to come back like this. Breathing out, moving backwards and feeling the stretch into the thumbs, and that's an indication of the lung channel, whether it feels tight or weak. It's up to you to tune in and feel what it's like, and breathe out. Okay, so now let's just do some doing on the lung channel, and let's see if we can get an improvement on that stretch. So we're going to start off with lung 1, which is right here, just here on the front of the shoulder. We can give that a really good tap. Make some sounds if you like, ooh, and just open this whole area up. I'm going to aim down towards the thumb, which is where the lung channel runs, and we're going to go down, and then up the large intestine channel. This is the last channel that we're running up now in our 5 element series. So up we go. Very good. Down again. Very good. One more time. Okay, and up to here. Very good. Then brushing off. You should feel a nice tingling feeling down into your thumb. That means the lung channel has been activated. And so let's do the other side. Down, lung channel, up, to here, and then ooh, here, and down. Okay, and brushing off. Okay, now check this out. Okay, breathing in, breathing out, and doesn't that feel totally different? Much more open, much more relaxed, and much more flowing all the way up towards the thumb. And that means we have opened up the lung channel, everyone, which is really good news. Okay, now because it's a special on the upper burner and a special on the upper torso now, let's do some stretches to really open the lung channel up, and then we do some exercises directing the breath down through the diaphragm. Are you ready? Okay, so here's the Makaho stretch for the lungs. This is an awesome stretch for the lungs. We connect the thumbs like this behind the back. That's because the thumbs are related to the lung channel. Okay, we stand like this, feet shoulder width apart, opening up this area here, breathing in, okay, breathing out, going forwards, gently forwards, and now I'm opening up by bringing this stretch up towards the ceiling. And we come out of the stretch on the next exhalation. Okay, pretty strong, but very good for the lungs. So let's try it again, breathing in, breathing out. Got it? Hold it, breathing in, breathing out, and coming back up. Excellent. One more time. Breathing in, breathing out. And then coming out. Okay, let's check in with our famous lung stretch and see how we're doing. Breathing in, breathing out. Super easy and open. Look at that. And that's a really good indication that we've really done a good job opening up the lung channel. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a medical Qi Gong exercise for the lungs, but we're going to do it in a special way. We're going to connect it with the kidney energy in the lower dantian. So we're going to open up kidney 1. We're going to bring our hands here. We're going to relax the shoulders and feel the breath coming into the dantian here. So we're breathing in. We're holding the breath, collecting the Qi in the lower burner, and then just breathing out. Got it? Okay, so now bring the hands to the side. We're going to lift up the arms. Now see how easy this feels here. This is because we've opened up the channel. We're going to bring the thumb out, open up the channel, and drop it back. Okay. What we're doing now is not too high. We just bring it up like to about here, shoulder width and down, not like really high up. So it's about here and down. We keep it really easy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to focus internally on kidney 1. Okay, so we're opening up the soles of the feet, relaxing the knees, relaxing the hips. Very good. Keep those thumbs out. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to do the low abdominal breathing. We're going to get that breathing really low into the abdomen as we do this exercise that's gently stimulating the lung channel. Okay, so nice easy breaths. Okay, now you should feel that breath going smoothly down and feeling it going down into the lower dantian. And then we're going to breathe out. Very good. So we're breathing in. We're sending that breath down as we get down into the lower burner. Keeping it really relaxed. Head floating up, sacrum hanging down. Breathing in. Okay, excellent. A little bit more. Very good. And then we just let the hands come to the side. Do a little bit more of a shake out. Okay, now let's check in again and see what's happening. Okay, now can you feel that? We've got like a tingling and kind of like a warm activated feeling in the lungs. This is nicely released and we've got this feeling of connection going down into the lower dantian. Check this out. Place the hands over the lower dantian. Okay, take a deep breath in, focusing the breath down into the hara there. Okay, can you feel your lungs kind of tingly and sort of really energetically bringing that air in and sending it down? That's the descending function of the lungs. Okay, and that feeling of connection with the lower dantian, that's the kidney-lung connection that we were talking about earlier. That's what it feels like internally, okay? So what can happen is if we get really weak here, we get tired, we get stressed, the breathing goes like this, okay, and we kind of get the opposite of what we're feeling now, which is this wonderful feeling of grounding, yin, really strong yin connection with the earth, strong dantian, release middle burner, and that feeling of effortless strength of the breath going in, okay? And that's, I guess, about 50% of what we wanted as a group, which was that upper burner, upper body thing that we've worked on. And now we're going to work on the other half, which is the pericardium, the heart channel, and how that connects, okay? So what you might feel is you might feel palpitations, you might feel a tightness across here, you might feel like a obstruction or even weakness around here. If you feel weak around here, this area here, then you want to take it nice and easy, just tapping lightly or even just holding maybe all the way down the channels if you're feeling really, say, breathless and weak. But if you're feeling like it's a bit more obstructed, then you want to get in and get this whole thing moving. We're going to open up the heart and the pericardium channels. And once we've done that, we do a similar thing. We'll connect it down into the lower dantian. And that's one of the best stress-reducing energy connections that we've got in Chinese medicine. So let's do it. Okay, so let's check the channel stretch again. So this is this stretch for the pericardium. We're going to breathe in, we're going to breathe out. Okay, just feel what that's like. And now we're going to check the heart stretch. Heart in, hands in prayer position, stretching over your head and back, breathing in. Okay, opening up the armpits, bringing the elbows out. Just see what that feels like. Very good. And now let's just do some dome. We're going to go pericardium first. So again, we're tapping here, all around this area here in the upper chest. Okay, and then we're going to go down the channel into the middle of middle finger, and then up this way. This is the trapezius channel, back up onto the shoulders. Okay, so again, if you're feeling really much weaker, then you might want to just gently tap or even hold going down. But if you've got more obstruction or you feel it needs a bit stiff and it needs working, then we're going to tap down here and back again. Very good. Okay, the same the other side. Down towards the centre of the channel. And back. Okay, here we go. Very good. Okay, so let's go straight on. We'll work the heart. Now, the heart's a little bit more delicate than the pericardium or the heart protector channel. So we're going to go very gently here, just tapping down the inside front of the arm. Going towards the little finger this time. Okay, and it starts right underneath the armpit, so you can get underneath there and tap just gently down to here, and then we can go up the small intestine channel here, which is the yang channel, so you can tap that a little bit more strongly, and then into the back of the shoulders here, and up onto the shoulders, and then round. There we go. Nice. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, and then round again. Very good. So those are both connected to the heart, which can also affect obviously the upper burner. So it's a really good idea to work that. So let's work the heart on this side. Go down here. Remember these points from when we did the summer fire element Wednesday classes? Remember these points here? Got heart 3, haven't we? And then we've got heart 7. All great for calming calming the heart, helping the shin settle, and just providing us with a nice calm mind, always useful. So we're going to brush off. Okay, excellent. Okay, let's check in with those stretches and see what's happened. Let's try the pericardial stretch, breathing in, breathing out. Whoa, so much easier. Okay, really so much easier. Nice. And the heart stretch, breathing in, breathing out. Whoa. Okay. Much better. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do some exercises connecting the heart center with the lower dantian. We're going to use the breath and you'll feel it balancing out. I'll show you what I mean. It's an internal exercise. We're just going to shake out a little bit. Okay, now just check this out. If we place our hand over the center of the chest here, there's a really important point, CV17, and there's an energy connection there with the dantian, okay? So what can happen is if we get stressed out, we lose this connection because of one thing or another, maybe the middle burner, maybe this gets weak, maybe this gets overexcited, and we get this type of detachment where we're kind of going, like that, and the lower burner is somewhere down there, we don't know where it is, but we're kind of like going, like this, okay? And what we've been doing this session is we've been building up to getting this connection here. And I'll show you what it feels like. You place your hand here over CV17, or you can just touch it with your fingers if you like, whatever, okay? Get in touch with this. It's right on the sternum here, this point, and it's like the heart center, connects to the heart center. And we're going to place our hand just below the navel like we normally do here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on strengthening the connection between these two hands. And this is how we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to keep really relaxed, keep that head floating up, keep the kidney one open, keep that nice yin feeling there, okay? And now check this out. We're going to breathe into here, okay? And then breathe out. Got it? Let's do that again, breathing into the lower dantian. Okay, now we're going to breathe into this upper dantian here, the upper burner area, CV17, breathing in. Focusing the chi here. Okay, and breathing out. As you breathe out, try and relax this whole area around here, the whole heart and upper burner area. Let's try it one more time, breathing in. Okay, long exhalation, breathing out. Okay, excellent. Right, so now we're going to imagine a connection between these two hands, okay? We're going to breathe in and we're going to imagine like a cord of light or energy between the two hands. We're going to breathe into both areas at once, okay? You want to try that? So we're going to breathe in. Activate both hands. Feel the connection between them. Hold your breath. Feel a connection like a warm connection between the two hands. Very good. Now breathing out slowly and relax both areas. Feel the connection. Okay, isn't that incredible? Let's try it again. So we're going to breathe into both areas. Hold it. Imagine like an energy connection between them. We're relaxing the shoulders, opening up kidney one, keeping that connection between heaven and earth. Hold that, feel a connection between the two hands. Very good. Okay, now slowly breathe out. Excellent. Okay, let's just do that one more time, breathing in. Hold it, balance the feeling between the two hands. Feel the connection there. Okay, awesome. Okay, now check in and just see how you're feeling. Super chill, okay? Can you feel that relaxation right through your whole body? You feel the upper heat is just kind of relaxed, totally relaxed out, and you've got this grounding, this sort of calm feeling. And that's because the kidney yin, which comes up through the kidney one point, is calming and cooling this whole area, and we've connected them up together, okay? And if you get like stressed out in the week, or you get any of this upper burner, upper burner thing going, just a few low abdominal breaths, you'll click into it and you'll be able to totally chill yourself, calm yourself down, and everything will be Super good. Okay, so that's a really useful technique based on Chinese medicine, and we've just got 10 minutes left to make sure we get those yang channels cleared in the head and neck, and we complete the whole body. So let's just do some tapping here. I'm going to tap around the head. These are the yang channels over the top of the head. And the sides of the head. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm going to pull the ears. The ears are supposed to be related to the kidneys. I'm going to pull those. Always a good idea. Relaxing the ears. Okay, let's just press around the eyes, gently pressing in. And then around the upper sinuses. Okay, so now we're working on the head. It's time for point of the week, because point of the week is directly related to the head. So let's just finish off the pressing around the head and then pressing around here. And then we'll feel this point here. And it's one of the most famous points in the body, large intestine 4. It's halfway between this bone, metacarpal bone here. It's called joining valley. Sometimes it's called the great eliminator. And it's used for headaches and any problems in the head at all. And it's also used to treat pain anywhere in the body. It's great for toothache, headaches, anything like that. Okay. And there's different ways of finding it. You can either find it by literally taking this bone here, dividing it in two and pressing in. The other way you'll see it found is if you squeeze your thumb and finger together, there's a little bulge here, and that's where it is, right on the top of that bulge there. Okay. So I'll tell you a true story about this. About 1984 or something like that, I just come to Norwich, I just started doing Shiatsu, and I hitchhiked to somewhere in the middle of North Norfolk to do I think it was North Walsham, to do a health fair. I was hitchhiking there. Some guy picked me up. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to North Walsham to do a health fair. I'm a Shiatsu person, do Shiatsu. And he said, oh, is that like acupressure? He said, isn't there a point here that's used for headaches? And I went, yes, you're right. So there we are. Even in 1984, a random person that picked me up in a car to take me to a health fair knew where large intestine 4 is. And I always tell my students that you better learn where that is, because even for someone who picks you up when you're hitchhiking is going to know that point. Okay. So anyway, so let's just squeeze down the large intestine meridian, and we're going to squeeze in to this point here. And let's feel the connection with the head. So we're going to take it like this. This is my favorite way of doing it. It's just gently pressing here. If we just close our eyes for a second, tune into our head, face, and gently press in, you'll probably feel a resonance with the head. I'm getting it mainly around the upper jaw and around here into the face. That's the other end of the channel. Yeah, okay, we'll try the other one. Closing our eyes, pressing in. Okay, it has a very strong effect on the head, and it's really good for draining stuff away from the head, so if you've got headaches or toothache. You probably feel it resonating somewhere in your head. I can feel it mainly here, actually, which is where the other end of the channel is. So there we are, large intestine 4, one of the most famous points in the whole body. So let's continue our journey down the neck. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just tapping today. I don't know why, I just feel like tapping the bladder channel and the gallbladder channel. You can also squeeze it like this. Very good. Okay, and then let's not forget the stomach channel and the large intestine channel that run on the front of the neck here. So I'm squeezing the SCM muscle there. Okay, brilliant. So we're nearly finished. We're just going to do some work on the whole spine. So we're going to go down as far as we can, tapping down the bladder channel, and then bending forwards, releasing the spine, going as high as we can. See if I can reach up to where we left off, and then going down, all the way down back to the legs. Yeah. So around the shoulders. then down the back. And down the back here. Okay, very good. So last bit of shaking. Relaxing the face, so just brushing off the face, shaking out any tension from the head, those yang channels in the head. Wow, what a wonderful Wednesday we've had so far, and I've really thought some of those internal connections between the upper and the lower burner are so important. So I think what we'll do now is just to finish up is we'll really make the most of those by doing some breathing exercises and some like Tai Chi connections. So feet shoulder width apart. Okay, we're going to tune in internally. We've got the head floating up, sacrum hanging down. Okay, we're just tuning into that nice feeling of relaxation in the lower heater, openness in the middle heater, and just take some nice breaths. Okay, superb. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to do some these breathing exercises, these Tai Chi exercises, finishing exercises. And we're going to concentrate on establishing this connection between the upper and the lower burner as we do it. So the head floating up, opening up kidney 1, get that really nice feeling of the yin connection with the earth. And we're going to float down, we're going to keep the shoulders really open, breathing in. Okay, now check this out. As we breathe out, we imagine that we're pressing Qi down with our hands. And we can mirror this internally. This is a great way to consolidate what we've done today. So we're breathing in. You imagine that this mirrors in with the Qi from the lungs, and as we breathe out, we're gently pressing the Qi from the lungs down into the lower abdomen, and then down out through the feet and into the earth. Okay, so we're gathering the Qi in through the lungs, we're breathing it out down through the central channel, essentially down into the lower abdomen, and then down through the feet. And this will give us a connection between heaven and earth. Okay, let's try it. So we're keeping it nice and relaxed. We are breathing in. We are breathing out, sending the Qi down into the lower dantian, and then down through the legs, through kidney 1 and into the earth. Excellent, okay, floating the head up, breathing in, bringing the Qi in from above through the breath, breathing out, sinking it down into the lower dantian, through the hips, through kidney 1 and into the earth. Okay, floating that head up, breathing in and breathing out. Excellent stuff. Yeah, and again, breathing in. Sink the breath. Relax the hips, tune into the earth. Feel the breath coming from above. Breathe out. Connect the upper burner through the middle burner with the lower burner. And then into the earth. Here we go, breathing in. Nice slow exhalation. Upper burner, middle burner, lower burner, legs and feet and the earth. Okay, very good. And we're just into a last shake out. Let's just check in, see how you're feeling. Do you feel, let's see if I can find the, how do you feel now? Oh yeah, how do you feel now? Poll, let's just find out how we're doing. Oh, we've got one person who feels less balanced. Okay, if that happens, you're going to have a reaction, things happen, things move, especially if you're working the upper burner, you've probably got some emotional stuff working there that needs to be working through. I just encourage you to get help from us. Ask on the chat. You can always contact us at the Shiatsu Centre if you need more help. Otherwise, just keep working on it, and you'll find that especially the yin exercises connecting with the earth will help ground everything. Okay, no one feels just about the same. 97% feel more balanced, so that's pretty good Wednesday, I think. Let's have a quick check-in on the chat. Really? Okay, great. Wow, you've had a really, really busy chat today, Dinah.
I have.
Really, really busy. All right, I'm going to put a
Look, Catherine's headache's gone. Woohoo!
Fantastic, yeah. Those upper burner and lower burner connections are so important, aren't they?
Fab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We'll see you next week if you want. And thank you to all of you who've joined the community and helped fund these going forwards. Really, we really, really appreciate it. And if anyone else wants to join the community, we've got a weekend coming up actually, Dinah, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, so if you join the community, you'll have access to the Saturday morning exercises and also a special members-only yoga session with Kat on Sunday morning. So there we are. What a wonderful offering for you if you'd like to join us. Okay, we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay, join. There's a link. Jacqueline asked how you join. There's a link on the reminder email, or you can go to the Shiatsu College webpage, or we can, there's a link on the email that's with this recording that sends you there, and you can join up there. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye. Bye.